Welcome back to the Kindness Kangaroo Library. I'm author Sandra Wilson, and this is a Storytime Lesson. I'm not reading a story today because we're working on writing a story. And from now until Halloween, we're working on writing a spooky story, as inspired by my newest book, Spooky Stories and How to Write Them, which is now available on Amazon, and there will be a link below to help you get a copy of this book. This book is filled with ideas, inspirations, and activities to help you create your own spooky story. And we're using some of those ideas to have these little videos to get you started and get you excited about spooky stories. So in our previous videos, we talked about character and setting, two of the elements that are important in a story. The third element that's important in a story is situation. So you have your character, you have your place, your setting where the story takes place, and the situation, which is the happening, which is basically why the story is being told. Now, only one of these things has to be spooky, and that would lead to enough of a spooky story. You could have a regular character, a regular setting, and then something happens to make everything spooky. You could have a spooky character who invades a regular setting, and then something happens maybe to reveal that character, destroy that character, chase away that character, or whatever you want the story to have. So in our next episode, we'll be talking about the purpose for the story, what you want to write so that you can fit it all together. But today we're just talking about situations. And often it's a situation, we're talking about the situation, how to make it scary. So for example, if you've picked a setting, maybe of a zoo or an aquarium, and then all of a sudden there's a situation like something escapes. So that would create a spooky situation, and now you have something chasing you, or something you have to hide from, or something that is taking you into their area, their cave, or their water, or wherever they live. And now the situation has created something spooky that's happening, something scary that the character has to get through. So the idea is, again, we're kind of creating a spooky situation that maybe didn't exist before. So think of something that you might do every day. Take the dog for a walk, visit the library, go to the grocery store, go to school, go to work, and what kinds of things happen while you're there. So let's see, we take the dog for a walk, and the dog sees a squirrel and pulls on the leash because the dog's excited to chase the squirrel. That seems like a fairly interesting situation, fairly normal, nothing exciting there, nothing spooky there. Now take that situation and figure out what could happen to make that scary or spooky. Maybe the squirrel turns around and charges after you. Maybe it grows and gets big teeth. Something like that. Another situation, you're just going downstairs to get something from the basement. Maybe you're doing laundry, something like that. Now, basements aren't usually scary, but you could make that scary with a situation that occurs. Is there something hiding in the basement? Does the power go off on your way down to the basement? Are there cobwebs that suddenly you're walking through? All these things can create the situation that makes things scary in the story. So I want you to think of something that you do fairly regularly. It doesn't have to be every day, but something like going to the grocery store, or going to the hairdresser, or taking the dog for a walk. And take one of those situations and figure out, how do we make this spooky? What happens next is always the best way to move forward in a story. What happens next? You take the dog for a walk. What happens next? And that next needs to be something spooky so that you can create your spooky situation. So I hope you have fun with that, and I hope you enjoy me for my next episode when we're taking all the ideas we've talked about and putting it together into a story. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye.